Congratulations, you have just watched the nerdiest thing you'll see all day. Find the flame does not miss though. So these two have very similar performance really. What I did was I figured out the micro bevel angle of the Yakari Puko, which is in 80 CRV2. I figured that out by coloring it in with a Sharpie and then wiping it off with my angle finding sharpening machine until it was pretty determinable that it was a factory micro bevel of about 21 point whatever it was. And then I put that edge on the SRK, which required, it made the edge a little bit wider, the apex a little bit wider than it was. I reckon these come from factory at about 23 or 24 degrees per side perhaps. So just a slight steepening of this one here to match this one here. So this grind is still a bit different. This one's like a Scandi or like a really low saber grind, I guess. And this one's a high saber into a hollow-ish, but still, pretty flat hollow grind. So, of course, they're not identical, but the steels are pretty similar. And I've always seen them on paper and said, well, 80 CRV2 has like a dab more chromium and a dab of vanadium, but it's nothing exorbitant. So they should be relatively similar. And turns out they were. This one cut 140 times through the rope, and this one cut 125 times through the rope before they no longer did like a nice smooth paper slice. So before they lost that absolute edge. So that's kind of the metric that I used for edge retention generally. And they're both going to be really good sort of impact steels, rough use steels. You've seen the Holtzfor's GK and SK5. That steel can take a whole lot of really bad abuse, like as in hitting it with hammers and stuff, and does absolutely fine. And 80 CRV2 is very extensively tested as well. This one is definitely the more kind of prestigious steel though, it really is. And I think it's because SK5 is often in really cheap knives. It's basically not that far off like a 1095. It's like a 1080, 1090 style, if you're to try and use that naming scheme. That's kind of what this would end up being called if you're going by carbon content. So I think SK5 is often a little bit unsung as a quality, simple carbon steel. And 80 CRV2 is, of course, very high quality as well. Both of them are going to perform really well for you in your rugged use knives, and both are going to hold pretty good angles, even at, in my testing previously, more extreme edges as well. What I was more interested in this instance was the direct comparison between these two blades as best as I could do. So that's your little fix of nerdy knife stuff for the morning, afternoon, night, or wherever I find you in this wonderful world. So, see you all in the next film. Goodbye.